ball! Come on, we need the food! Hunt the ball! Hunt the ball! Come on, guys! Just want to do it! Come on! Take it! We can take it! We got it! Yeah! You know, buddy, that was a lot of bull. This is IVATOPIA, and I'm taking a look at Hegemony 3, Clash of the Ancients, what has just come out on Steam, and I'm going to do my best to give it a review. So what is Hegemony 3, Clash of the Ancients? It is a real-time strategy game on a huge map, and I do mean huge. Most RTSs, you have individual maps to fight on and build your base on. Not Hegemony 3, Clash of the Ancients. You have all of Italy, so battles can and will be fought on multiple fronts, as you try to expand and protect, as well as take more resource areas to build your empire up. And before you say, wait, that is too much multitasking at our scale, fear not. We have a pause button. We can hit any time, and then we can take a look around the map and issue orders before unpausing and watching all our troops do as you had just told them to do. There is also an in-game prompt that you can turn off, but basically having it on is better since it pauses the game automatically as an advisor pops up to tell you why, like an army is heading towards you, or pirates are nearby, or you're running out of gold. And here's some tips how to stop it, etc. This feature is really nice since it gives you a highlighted word, but once clicked takes you across the map to the location that needs your attention. Let's move back for a minute to the main menu, shall we? As we can see, we have an exit button at the bottom to leave for Windows. We have the credits button. What I thought was nice, even though the game failed its Kickstarter, they still thanked other supporters who tried to back them, what myself was one of them. We then have the options button that takes us to the graphic options. First, some basic options here, resolution, anti-aliasing, just to name a few. But as you can see, we also have an advanced button that allows us to fine-tune more of the game, vegetation, shaders, etc. Before we click at the top of for the sound. The sound window, well, it itself has a few nice sliders like master volume, but if you want to fine-tweak a bit more, we also have individual sliders for music and effects, again, just to name a few. The next window is for gameplay, stuff like how often the game auto-saves. By the way, you can save manually in the game too, as well as a few more nice options, as you can see. Then the last window takes us to a customizable controls. As you can see, there is a lot if you really want to get down to the nitty-gritty, but the game can basically be played with just a mouse, if you like, especially with the pause function, but I do recommend using the spacebar to pause quicker, as a minimum, etc. Also, you can use the K button on the keyboard to bring up the upgrade window for your army that is currently highlighted. Also, with your mouse, if you click on the little picture symbol at the bottom, as you can see on the screen now, this will bring up the window allowing you to edit the name of the current troops you're using. What's a nice little feature, by the way. Really adds to customization and really is appreciated. Okay, so back on the main menu, where they have the current build number in the top right corner too, by the way, and the next button is the DLC and mod button. There is nothing here yet, but with the game's editor being released, I am hoping we get a lot of cool mods and some useful DLCs that are worth the price. Cough cough. Multiplayer, wink wink, anyone? But seriously, there is no multiplayer, even though it was a stretch goal on Kickstarter. The devs had said if the game sells well enough, that might allow them to add it a long way down the line, or at least to the next game in the series. This is the one feature I really think would benefit the game, but I would prefer a really good single-player game over a half-baked single-player and a half-baked multiplayer game any day. So I understand why they haven't, again, done it. I hope they get some good sales on the game for the long term, and we can finally get multiplayer. Okay, let's get off my hopes and dreams for the game and back to what's actually here, shall we? We then have a grayed out save button, since I have currently not got a game going. Then we have load game to load your past games, etc. Plus you can see resume button, what allows you to carry on your last save game. Then finally new game. That takes us to the next screen. This screen is where you would pick your scenario from. The main game is sandbox mode, this time with the dynamically changing objectives. Instead of a separate campaign like the last game they made for Rome revolving Caesar. We have 2 sandbox games in a scenario so far. The Etruscans, what I'm loading up now, we only have 4 civilizations, and a very big full Italian one as well. What this means is, this time we might have the new tribe of Gauls rise up and start to take different cities throughout the game, or Rome might have an arch-enemy early on whose sole goal is to take Rome, and so on. The loading screens are nice. They give nice little tips and tidbits about the game, etc., so worth reading when you can. Okay, now onto this screen. You can see the whole map you can play, as well as all the different civs you can pick. You can change the game difficulty here, or even remove some civs, or change their individual difficulty for a bit of more customization. And one of my favourite features is the ability to pick your own general and give him a name and change his portrait, what is based on ancient Greek art. By the way, I actually entered into the competition of this very game to have a portrait added to game based on my picture by release, where I won one of the spots, and unless I'm mistaken, I believe that is the picture right there. They even added the sticking out bit on the back of my head that once zoomed in on my actual picture, the actual photo I used, you realise there's actually a plant behind me. But it adds character, adding it to my hair, and I really like it. I've never been in a game before after all, so it's cool. So guess what portrait I will be picking today? The portrait is just for cosmetics. The real reason this feature is cool is the ability points here. You can add to the different areas to have bonuses for one of your armies, or even a town you let him be a governor in instead. Once this is all picked and you enter the game, you start off with your first town, what grows with population, allowing you to upgrade to new levels, what in return allows you more troops to recruit. Since in the game the troops aren't endless, they have to come from a town that slowly recruits more over time. The new levels also allow your town to create more gold by taxes and gives you more slots to build buildings, to create new types of units or walls for defense, just to name a few. The town also changes as it gets bigger and can be sieged, taken by the AI, or even raised to bring its level back down, since it is losing its people. Plus, if you're starving them, the same can happen over time. That is why you need to keep food travelling to them by resource lines that you take, like this farm here with your unit. There's more resources in the game, like wood to help build upgrades in cities and in the actual resource nodes, as well as gold to allow you to buy the upgrades that need it too, as well as hire your troops and pay your workers, and each resource line you create costs gold to maintain. Each one of these resource lines can be blocked by enemy troops or even your own to try and drain and weaken your cities before an attack. Plus, if you are minusing gold, your troops have their morale halved, so they will run and be defeated a lot sooner. Also, if they have not got any food on them, the same will happen, half morale. This is why it is good to have them fight in your territory or nearby a fortress you have built and are feeding food to. This helps the front lines a lot. Your troops can be upgraded as they gain more experience in the world to help them fight better, or be able to carry more food or defend better, just to name a few. The game also has boats and siege equipment, as well as workers. We can take slaves, that's right, if you beat some enemy troops, the surviving ones will try to run. You can let them escape or capture them, and turn them into slaves. It only costs you food, not gold like your workers do. Plus you might get a mission from the civ you took them from, asking for them back in return for better relations with them, and if you're looking to be friends it will help. You can also hire mercenaries once you have got a mercenary post up in a city. But you say, I don't want to capture them, I don't want slaves. I'm bloodthirst, I just want to execute them. Can I do that? The answer is yes, that is the other option. This game also introduces a research tree that gains points over time to improve your overall military or even economically wise. They've got a better diplomacy function now than in the last game, not just gold only now. Doing some missions for the civs in question helps too, etc. This still is not the best I have ever seen, but it is a massive improvement on their past games. The game looks quite simple, but it's quite deep the more you go into it, what really is nice. Plus, for past players of their last game, Rome, the map is 4 times bigger than that game, even though we have less of Europe to fight on now. So do I think the game is worth buying? Well, it's currently on Steam, selling at the price of $19.99 with a 30% discount currently on Steam, which offer ends on September the 1st. This discount is made up of a loyalty bonus, 10% for a launch discount, and for players who already own any of the other games in the series, 20%. Well, obviously makes 30% to bring it to the current price on Steam, $20.99 for a regioned version if you've hit them criteria. Back to my question, do I think it's worth buying? Well, yes I do. It's quite a unique game after all. You don't have much on the market at this grand level in the real-time strategy genre. If this was a turn-based game, then that would be a lot different. But that's all if you like RTS games, and you don't mind not having the best graphics out there, and you like the time period it's currently set in, and you like what you see in my video in general about this game, and of course, like any of the old games, then yes, I think it's worth buying and giving it a go. But if you hate RTSs, must have the best graphics no matter what, and can't be forgiving to weaker areas in the game, what are improving by the way, like the diplomacy side, then you should stay away. But like always, it's up to you to decide this. This is just my opinion after all, but I hope it helped at least one of you out there. So if I had to score this game out of 10, I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. What is worth buying and supporting, and the only reason it is not higher for me is a few reasons that I believe they can reach one day. With more money and time is the lack of multiplayer and co-op mode, since I would love to play this with my wife. But as said earlier, could come later on, fingers crossed, or later in the next game, so a very long time from now. And their diplomacy is better than their past, and improving, but is still quite weak. Plus, I would like more animations in the fights again. They are indie, so this is understandable, but I can't help what I would like after all, as well as adding UK back to the game. After all, I am from the UK myself, and miss not playing as them, like I did back in their old game, Rome. And just to be a bit spoiled, for full voiceover for the advisors. But even without all that, it's still a very solid game. What looks beautiful and very enjoyable. But anyway, I will leave you with some more gameplay footage, so I hope you enjoy. This footage was actually one of my beta games that I've loaded up on the new retail version, so there could be some bugs in it, but it's more to show you the size of the games can get. This is one of my biggest games. As you see, I was not even close to finishing this game at the time. But you can see the big empire I had at the time, owning most of the Italian butte, and all the different places I've got. So it gives you an idea of some of the scale the game has got. chickens! The chickens are the right colours! The chickens are the right colours! They're not just red, or just blue, or yellow! They're the right colours! Chickens, chickens, chickens!